I'm not even sure they expect her to win. But how can you win under these conditions? There are signs that Kamala Harris's campaign that is careening down the cliff right now. Things are not looking good. Things are going badly. This week is a foreshadowing, I believe, of only what's to come, which is not going to be good things.
Our nails because the race is going to be close.
She had a terrible week. It was a terrible week for the Harris this campaign. You had Gretchen Whitmer having to apologize to Catholics across America for mocking them with some bizarro Dorito thing on there. You had Governor Elmer Fudd out hunting and not knowing how to load his shotgun, using the wrong gun. At the same time,
who's Governor Elmer Fudd?
Governor Walz was out there. It looked like Elmer Fudd. You know, be very, very quiet while hunting for rabbits.
Oh my God.
Right? So he can't load his shotgun. He's trying to appeal to hunters. He can't load the gun. He's using the wrong gun. At the same time, you have Barack Obama in Pennsylvania where he derided people who own guns. Remember, people in Pennsylvania were bitter and they clinged to guns and religion. Remember that in 2008? So they're trying to appeal to those folks at the same time while he alienates black male voters by chastising them. So they had a really tough week this week.
Well, hold on. Okay, so first of all, Kamala Harris released her medical records. Trump hasn't. That was this week.
But that's your top thing?
Let's talk about his week. Okay, he goes to Detroit and insults an entire city and insults a lot of black people there.
So we will build this policy, and it's called Build It in America plan. It's Build It in America because when foreign leaders and CEOs call me up to complain about our tariffs, my answer will be very simple. Build it in America. You don't have any tariffs. Build it right here in Detroit. You don't have any tariffs. Build it in Dearborn or Lansing or Grand Rapids or Flint.
His economic plan comes out, and by outside economic analysis, they said it would raise costs and raise debt on the American people. So Trump didn't really have a great week either. I think many times he goes out there. I'm sorry,
guys. Medical records, if that's the high point of your week, you're really grasping at straws.
What does he have to hide?
You're grasping at straws.
You're grasping at straws. Does anyone? First of all, does anyone?
I don't think anybody cares about that. I really don't think the medical records is going to sway the court at all. They know Trump is old. And unless he has an impending health crisis, then it's like, okay. Because he does not present in such a way that Biden did. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. In fact, looking at the numbers, you might have been better off staying with Biden, but that be it as it may, that's water under the bridge. It does seem flimsy a rebuttal to say, hey, but Kamala gave us her medical records. No one asked her for them. Who asked her for those? That's the Kamala Harris campaign trying to change the narrative. See, right now, she's stinking up the place.
I mean, the top line is the 5-point advantage that Kamala Harris had in our last poll is gone. What's behind that shift?
Yeah, exactly, Savannah. I mean, just look at them side by side and you can see it. Remember that poll we took a month ago that you see here? It was just after that first Trump-Harris debate. Since then, we've had the VP debate. There have been some campaign activities, some interviews, some things that have changed in that time. I think this might be the biggest for Harris. We just asked the basic image perception people have. Is it positive or negative of these candidates? The Trump number's always been somewhere in this territory. In fact, this is a little bit high for him, believe it or not, 43% positive. But look at Harris, 43 positive, 49 negative. The significance, we polled this a month ago. She was 48% positive and 45 negative. She was above water, as they say. That's completely reversed. It now looks very similar to Trump's. That's a pretty big shift.
And throw something against the wall, man. Anything we can throw against the wall to change the narrative, let's do that. And that's what a friendly media. That's what most media covering her still favorably.
We're women. We always come through for each other. So let's not miss this opportunity to step up for women, for families across the United States of America. And if you're frightened by the option of Donald Trump, don't just talk about all the things you think the Harris camp is doing wrong. Get to work. I know women will.
Remember that Barack Obama said that in 2008, and two,
people in Pennsylvania. I promise you.
Barack Obama won Pennsylvania in 2008 and 2012.
In 2012, he lost the state.
Let me get started.
Yeah.
I don't think, if I were in your party, with all due respect, I wouldn't want to be arguing about the hiding of medical conditions and medical records, given who the current president of the United States is.
What about your nominee?
That's number one. I mean, finish.
Come on,
You got the
Scott.
Number two, I think the polling this morning and the week, I think David's right. It was a rough week. I mean, her faves are down. They're struggling with, the front page of the New York Times this morning, front page story. Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem, and you see the Democrats reacting to it. And I think what they are now finally in October of the election coming to realize is that a lot of men think Democrats care more about dudes who want to become women than dudes who just want to be dudes.
Well,
and no hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made.
So, Scott Jennings is a thorn in the side of the Democratic Party, isn't he, man? That guy, man, he keeps on batting, hitting the ball out the park. So what can be done about this? What's the situation like for the Democratic Party at this point? I'm not even sure they expect her to win. But how can you win under these conditions? And when under those conditions, I gotta say, it's her being at the top of the ticket. And don't get me twisted, I don't think Walz should be at the top of the ticket. I think it would have been better off for the Democratic Party to roll the dice and have someone win this thing. And for them to be able to run based on a primary event or some type of picking of a person who was strongest. Because it ain't Kamala. If you're struggling with black men at this point in the game and you're a Democrat, that's got to be hard. But we saw the stats. She's doing worse with black men than Biden did, and it just doesn't look good. She's doing worse with black men than Hillary was doing. Other than also what they're not factoring in, guys, and I think this is important to consider, maybe, just maybe, black people are getting tired of the Democrats altogether. Maybe we're getting to a point where it's a cumulative effect of the same old, same old. And I think that has a large part to do with it, that at some point, people say enough's enough. And I think that's been an ongoing process over the years. I saw it climbing and climbing. It started in 2012. The Democratic Party had Obama. They ran Obama in 2008. And that took a certain amount of, it used up a certain amount of currency for people to say, okay, they're going to put their hopes and dreams and beliefs into this Obama guy. And Obama came out there and he won the presidency. And what did he do for Black America? Next to nothing. Instead, he chastised us for even asking him, what are you going to do for Black America? Not only did he not do anything, he just said, put on shoes, take off the bedroom slippers, do this, do that, pull up your pants, Pookie, and all this other nonsense. Meanwhile, he was doing stuff for other groups with a smile. He made doing stuff for them an experiment, an experience, an event. And he left chastising us as a footnote, as a joke. And unless you were in the political pundit class of making money by going on these platforms and working for these democratic machinery, right? If you were a regular person, you didn't look at it and laugh. If you were a person who had pride, you didn't look at it and laugh and say, oh, it's okay. Now, you weren't in the excuse-making business. Your salary and your money was not tied to ignoring Obama's BS disrespect to the Black community. But be it as it may, you move on to 2012, and it's even confounded. It's compounded now because now it's his second opportunity, his second bite at the apple. And instead of saying, hey, I'm out of here in 4 years, I can't run again, now I'm going to go get all this stuff done. And what does he do? Nothing. He goes to one prison and walks around for 5 minutes and goes home. How can you have Donald Trump do more to let out prisoners in a crooked system than Obama? That's the legacy of Obama. What I'm saying is, once that happened, I feel that it changed the psyche of Black America. Black men, for a large degree, Black women to a smaller degree, but yeah, I think it had an impact on Black women too. And I think that's been compounding over the election cycles. 2016, look, that's what happened. Black folks got tired. And then you had Trump saying the quiet parts out loud about the Democratic Party, things that we all can agree on about the corruption of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Remember, Trump didn't just call out Democrats, he called out Republicans as well. People have a short memory. It was Republicans he was roasting during the entire primaries. Meanwhile, black people are watching all this unfold, and I'm telling you, the waves of dissatisfaction were sweeping up on the beach of black America's voters, and slowly it was eroding the beach. It was eroding the support for the Democratic Party. Folks, we are at where we are in 2024, not just because Kamala is a melanated Indian, black, Jamaican, whatever she is, woman, person with a uterus, birthing person, whatever y'all call it. Not the fact she's a woman of color. There she is, but we are where we are number-wise, folks, not just because of that, any of that liberal slang or speak that they want to label it. Well, also at this point, them numbers look like shit because the Democrats are shit. And black people are tired of this shit. And it took time. It's going to continue to keep on eroding and eroding and eroding and eroding. And I'm here for it because I believe black Americans, just like white Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, Native American Americans, all Americans should get something for their vote. They should demand it. They should stand on it. The problem with the black community is we got black community members who are influential and movers and shakers and influencers who are what? Who are willing to side with the establishment over the people and influence the masses of people who don't take time to know what's going on. But that's slowly changing with the advent of social media, which are catapulting people like Tim Black and others so that they can be influential. It takes some of the power away from the mouthpieces of a Jesse Jackson, of an Al Sharpton, of a Jim Clyburn. Those types of people, their opinions are mattering less and less and less and less. And at least now we can rebut them. Before, could we really? Look at the prices, like a brother Tavis Smiley or Dr. Cornel West paid just for dissenting with Obama as he dropped bombs on the spending of all that money dropping bombs until Obama ran out of bombs. We got here not overnight, but they're judging Kamala's position. They are just looking at it through a very small lens, and I'm saying just back away or either pull out with the wide lens and see the whole field. This did not happen overnight. If you want to just blame a thing and point to that thing, fine. But just like anything else, if you're 40 pounds overweight today, you didn't get there today. You got there, I don't know what was you doing 2 years ago? And if you got muscles and you in good shape, you didn't just happen today. How'd you get there? Getting up, not eating this, not doing that, doing these things. It's through practices. It's through things that were done over time that put you where you are. And the Democrats are failing. And I'm telling you, they're not failing. They're smart enough to know this. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. I'm not telling you anything they don't know. Not anything they don't know. But you can't play the blame game. You can't use black people as fodder to blame if you have a guy like Tim Black throwing in logic, throwing in very basic reasoning. Kamala sucks, but the Democratic Party sucks more.